Okay, so John, I'm going to have you with the river in the background and you can talk about what happened when the river rose.
Right, so we're at the end of Forge Bank Walk at the moment. This is where we were on midnight on Saturday, filling pillowcases with sand from the children's sand pit. At first, when we got the flood warning, we didn't think there was any risk of the houses flooding, but as Saturday went on, we got more and more worried. Basically, the level here is the 1 in 1,000 year flood level plus a 20% allowance for climate change. That plus a 600mm allowance for waves and that sort of thing. And the waves were, by midnight, coming up against these pillowcases full of sand, threatening to come down the street. So that's how we know how bad the flood was. Yeah, so I'm obviously, well, quite involved with the decision about how high, what the level to build the houses at. So yeah. I was feeling very responsible.
You were client project manager for the whole build.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a very worrying time. And then there's my house, which is 300mm higher than this. The Environment Agency was saying the peak's coming at 6 in the morning, so with the water here and another 6 hours potentially to go, we were like, okay, let's take our stuff upstairs. So I went home and moved pretty much everything upstairs on Saturday night, and it's mostly still up there in chaos now.
Yeah. So how did it, what about letting people know what was going on during the power cut and all that?
Oh, that was pretty good. Everyone came out on the street banging on each other's doors, and there was plenty of communication. The power went off at about 11 o'clock, so then the mobile phone masts all went down with that, so it got off to the whole city when the big substation by the river flooded. So yeah, but luckily all of the 16 houses which could have possibly flooded, there was someone in every single house that night, which is was pretty lucky. So we were all talking to each other. The police were down talking about whether to evacuate or not, but obviously we've got 2 stories and an easy route out up the hill, so they weren't too worried about that. But yeah, some fairly inventive things going on just to stop the waves in particular, because you talk about, the flood level is I don't know, 12.673 metres or whatever, but that makes no sense at all when you see what the river's like in flood. You've just got huge waves crashing in the whole time, and you can't tell what the exact level is.
And you were sending out Facebook updates of the Environment Agency.
Yeah. I mean, the Environment Agency's got 3 gauges upstream on the Loon at T-Bay, at Killington, and at Caton, which is very close to here. Gradually, they all stopped working. Went over the maximum level they could record. What did happen though, which just before the electricity went off at about 11, the Killington gauge had started falling and started working again. So, and that's probably, it's a good few hours away, the water one is at Killington, but that was our first indication that the river might peak earlier than the 6 o'clock prediction from the Environment Agency, and that made me feel it's probably more likely we wouldn't flood than we would. So, yeah.
Phew. And then you went cycling off to try and find out what happened in Lancaster?
Yeah, because there's no communication really, other than getting on a bike and going to places. So yeah, went through Halton Churchyard because all the roads out were flooded, but you could get around by the churchyard and then over the aqueduct over the river, because that's really high up. So you can see the flooded substation and the Electricity North West arriving to sort all that out, and then just like drums of chemicals floating down Caton Road. Down to the middle of town was sort of flooded at that point, the bus station and Stonewall and Gunsight Street and all around there. So yeah, lots of cars stuck. Sainsbury's, of course, was all under. And so yeah, and then the big long power cut. Yeah.
And then you cycled to Caton where it was all fine to do your emailing?
Yeah, well first I went looking for somewhere to charge phones and things, trying to find out where there was power on.
Yeah.
There was the only shops open in Lancaster were booths who had their generator, and Single Step,
Wow.
the independent shop in the middle of town, which opened especially on Sunday because they can do everything with a cash tin and a piece of paper and a battery-powered calculator.
Yeah.
So, and a couple of the independent pubs were open as well, feeding people and that sort of thing. But Lancaster was pretty dead, so I carried on up. You could get over Carlisle Bridge, carried my bike over there, cycled up through Hestbank to Carnforth. No power anywhere between Lancaster and Carnforth. Everything shut, apart from booths in Carnforth, which were again open with their generator. Got as far as over Kellet and found a phone signal, but that for some reason didn't allow me to call anyone. So that wasn't much use. So then came back into Halton via the Kellets and Arrow Lane. Arrow Lane was still blocked with cars stuck in the flood, which was kind of like a surface water flood really. Yeah. So I got out with my wellies and kind of kicked a hole in the grass verge so that could start draining out.
Oh wow!
And then got back here around lunchtime on Sunday. So and yeah, then discovered that it's actually Caton was the place to go once the flood went down, and we could get through the Crippaloon or the Dennybeck Bridge. So yeah, that's where I went to email the Lancaster Guardian from.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.